Sherlock Holmes The Awakened remake. I mean, what is there to say, really? It's one of my favorite Sherlock Holmes games, redone with modern gameplay and a fresh coat of paint in terms of visuals. Um, this is a sequel to Sherlock Chapter 1, which is why he appears to be a bit on the younger side. But this is also why we get quite a bit of character interaction here, because let's not forget that Sherlock and Watson haven't known each other all that long. They've only just been introduced to each other and agreed to become roommates at the end of the last game, which is honestly my favorite thing about the game. Um, you get some war stories out of Watson. Sherlock opens up a little bit about his mother. We also get to see Watson um, being introduced to Mycroft, and how he has quite the visceral reaction to him, being that he is a government agent, while of course Watson is a veteran who put his life on the line in service of his country. And it was just really neat to see some of those different dynamics that will grow and blossom into one of the most iconic duos of all time. Now, it did strike me a touch odd to have these characters be so new and so fresh to us, being thrust into something as aggressive and out there as Cthulhu, especially when this particular case is more towards the end of the original series, where the characters' personalities and their interpersonal relationship is already well established with the player. But on the other hand, I feel like it's a near perfect sequel to have this version of Sherlock, whose backstory is so steeped in mental illness and the experience with that subject, and to have him essentially be psychologically tortured and to be thrust into a situation where he's constantly having to question his own sanity and his own perception of reality. And I'm very curious to see where it's going to lead to next, and how Sherlock and Watson kind of recover from this, because they definitely have experienced something together, and there is sort of this bond beginning to grow, um, which is pretty interesting to think about in terms of the future. I would say that my only flaws with the game come across as more of a warning to anybody that hasn't played this game yet. Um, First off, we have the autosaves, which are absolutely feral, and for the life of me, I couldn't really find any good way of slowing them down or controlling them. My mom pointed out that this game autosaves literally every few seconds, so what that essentially means is any manual save that you make is just going to be eaten up by the game's constant autosaving. So that's just something to be aware of. Something else is the achievements. As far as I'm able to tell, it's a pretty buggy situation across the board, regardless of platform, in that they just kind of don't have a rhyme or reason um, as to when and if they pop. Um, Now, it did seem like the longer that we had the game running and the longer we played, that they did start popping a little bit more consistently, but I'm not honestly sure if that was a placebo type thing or not. Um, we were able to eventually 100% this by replaying some of the necessary chapters and just, running through them real quick. And when we did that, the achievements that we were missing did pop, and we had no further issues. So just be aware that if you are achievement hunting in this game, it might take just a quick second playthrough of at least some of the chapters. But other than that, I think the game is absolutely fine, and I would be very interested to see some of the other games from this series redone like this and given this treatment, particularly the Jack the Ripper game. Uh, I think that would be really interesting. So, time will tell, of course. But I think that's going to wrap this video up, guys. So, as always, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you in the next one.